We work with real company giving real project to the students. A bunch of students in New York working with Givenchy. When it comes to the luxury sector, there is a lot that nobody sees because the luxury market is characterized by delivering extraordinary experience. There is not one type of talent, and our challenge, what we have to do, is to put the students in the right conditions so they reveal their talent. I have to show my French students, make them learn that the world is bigger than Paris or bigger than Europe. Of course they know it, but they don't really know it. And make my students go discover India, what are all the opportunities are really related to luxury.
Welcome to one of the interesting podcasts we are going to have with our Director of ESG Luxe, Julien Blanc. With INSD Luxe Mumbai, we are going to connect today and understand how the world of industry related to luxury and sports going to be for all our youth, not only in Mumbai but also in Paris. The different avenues and of course, our career opportunities in the industry of luxury and sports. So welcome Julien Blanc. What an amazing day today where we are going to meet and talk and discuss about lots of topic which is related and revolving around luxury and sports.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here and so grateful that you welcome me in this incredible campus of INSD Luxe in Mumbai. I arrived this morning from Paris and I'm very excited to have this conversation with you and to meet your students and all the people interested in Mumbai and beyond, I understand, the luxury industry.
I love the energy you still have, Julien.
Thank you.
Flying from France to India, it's, I understand, 7,000 kilometers away, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your patience. I just want to understand, Julian, you have a diverse, experience into academic and also in, professional affairs. How do you balance this, and how do you see yourself into two different roles?
I've been all my career in higher education, academics, research, innovation, and professional education. I started in the public sector in France, and during this professional journey, I get to understand that when it comes to the luxury sector, there is a lot that nobody sees but has a huge impact on the dynamics of that sector. So it's very important now in my role as a director of a higher education school in Paris and in France to bring to the students that vision of the geostrategical aspect of luxury of the market, of course the cultural aspect, and all the connection that makes the luxury industry a very impactful and important industry beyond the quality of the products, beyond everything that we see with our eyes, behind the scene.
Okay, so being a director of ESG Luxe, what are the key skills do you think students should possess or develop to be a successful in luxury industry today?
That's a very tricky question, because what we believe in ESG Luxe, and I know that we have the same belief with INSD, is that there is not one type of talent, but there is several types of talent. And our challenge, what we have to do, is to put the students in the right conditions so they reveal their talents. Saying that, it's particularly important for the luxury sector because it's an ever-growing sector and always looking for creative profiles and different types of talents to be sure to get what's new, what's next. So there is no simple answer to your question.
Okay.
And the key is that the candidates and the students of our schools are ready to express their personality and their capabilities in order to be creative and to distinguish themselves.
Okay, so can you elaborate that how ESG Luxe is collaborating with the luxury industry, not only in France but also in India,
Yeah.
to bring a platform for the student where they can explore their avenues they can explore their career, and also what do you think would be best for them at this current trends?
There is different way of collaborating with companies. The thing is that I am running a school which is in Paris, but also in other cities in France. I'm running a school that is specialized in one sector, so the luxury sector. But this sector covers all different aspects of life. Yeah, you can find spoons, luxurious spoons, or as well as cars and jewels and fashion, etc. So the thing is to collaborate. We have to collaborate very closely with the companies and the houses, as we say, for luxury. And the different way to collaborate is projects. So we work with real company giving real projects to the students. For example, this year, we bring a bunch of students in New York working with Givenchy. That gave a challenge to our students, and the best ones will be happy to travel, and I will accompany them to New York to defend their point of view with the headquarters in New York of Givenchy. So real challenges, but also internships, of course, and jobs opportunities, and in everyday manner, all of our teachers are professionals from the industry. So it means that every day when they go to the school in ESG, and we are working on that with you on the INSD, they will have a precise point of view, up to date, and all the networks also of the different teachers that are working still with or in the industry.
So I love the way you said that your curriculum is not just forward focus; it is also being related to real world experience.
Yes.
I want you to explain to the entire youth, the young generation, that what aspiration they should have to enter into the competitive market in luxury and sports industry.
They have to have the ambition to always go a step further in their work. So it means that they have to work a lot, of course. Because the luxury market is characterized by delivering extraordinary experience. It's nothing else. Whether it be in hotel or in fashion, in jewelry, in train, whatever.
Right.
It's always rely on delivering extraordinary experience. And in order to deliver extraordinary experience, the candidates have always to think the step further in terms of details, in terms of excellence.
Okay.
So that may be the main thing to say related to your question.
Okay. So, in your opinion, how ESG Luxe students are distinguished from other institutes?
They gain their credibility, legitimacy on the field. And the field in the luxury market, sometimes it's a bit difficult to say, but the field, you know what I'm going to say, the field is retail. Well, to have a wider point of view, the field is client experience. So what my students do is they make a difference by distinguishing themselves in the quality of their work on the field in client experience management, client experience delivery.
So, how we take this collaboration between ESG Luxe and INSD Luxe Mumbai, to the next level, and what would be your vision for the student and as an institute for both the partners?
I have big visions for that collaboration, really, because if I may, if you allow me, I will start with my French point of view. My French point of view is that I have to show my French students, to make them learn that the world is bigger than Paris or bigger than Europe. Of course they know it, but they don't really know it.
Right.
So one of my ambition is really to open a portal between our two institutions and of course our two countries, and make my students go discover India, what are all the opportunities in terms of business, in terms of beauty, in terms of arts, and etc. really related to luxury. And the other thing, of course, is that I believe that we can really build together. We can give to Indian students that French touch, which today is really key in the luxury sector. Of course, there is also the Italian brands and Chinese brands and American, etc. But there is something special. I like to know that about the French way of managing, creating, designing luxury goods. So my vision is come here in France, come there in France rather, and to learn that French touch, and so to become an open-minded professional. But also, the second part of my vision is to push my French students to discover the Indian cultures and opportunities, and to come to travel here and study here.
Right. So I believe you also do not restrict only to the luxury brands, but also to the traditional, luxury,
Yeah.
kind of a heritage which has been known, the India is
Yeah.
known for.
Yeah.
Would you also like to give your student there in ESG Lux to come and experience, in
Yeah.
India?
Yeah. The two things. The thing is that I spend most of my day telling my students that there is not only 4 or 5 brands they have in mind, and luxury is not only fashion. Luxury is furniture, it's voyage, travel, it's hotel,
Yes.
it's everything in the way of life, and the luxurious version of it exists. And the other thing is that luxury without culture doesn't exist.
True.
The real luxury is something that you can't really buy, and what you can't buy is that richness that culture gives us. And so India is has even more brilliant and rich culture than
Culture,
French and Europe. So it's evident, of course, that they have to connect with that.
Okay, so one thing I want to know, if you want Indian student to go to Paris and study international luxury, what one thing you want a student to well prepared and come to Paris?
If they learn a bit of French, it's good.
Okay.
But once they will be there, we will help them, of course, with that. And they have to be prepared to, as I said, discover a huge ocean of different opportunities beyond the 4 or 5 brands, even whether it is in cars or fashion that they can think of today. They will arrive in Paris with knowing, I don't know, 10 brands and 10 opportunities. And they will leave Paris knowing 200 opportunities for them, whether it is in Europe or rather back in India.
Lovely. This is something very insightful, believe me. And the kind of a discussion we are having about a collaboration between ESG Lux and INSD Lux, it's beyond that. It's about learning, exploring, right? Experiencing something which is they have not thought of. It is much, much bigger than that, right? Not related to academy, but I would like to know much more about you, Julian, if you would allow me, right? Okay, so Julian, which is your favorite destination you have been visited recently?
Italy. It's not very original, but I love to travel to Italy. I try to travel to Italy each year.
Mhm.
It's not very far from France.
Okay.
And on some aspects, it's France, but in a better way,
Okay.
because the food is incredible,
Mhm.
and food is clearly a part of luxury, of course.
Okay.
And you can feel history and poetry and music every step you make, almost in almost the cities and countryside of Italy. So Italy.
So if, for example, you had got one day off from all the work, you're doing it every day, what you'd be doing then on that particular day?
I love to read,
Okay.
and I love to walk in the countryside,
Oh, lovely.
and I love to make things with my hands.
Like,
I don't know, when you work at home to repairing things, or trying to create, I don't know, little objects in wood. That's that's what I like to do.
So if I'll ask you one of the unconventional luxury item you have bought recently.
In conventional, because it's not in the top of mind of most of the people, but it will be a small, old Chinese vase from antiquities.
Okay. And if for one day, if you have to swap with any luxury brand CEO for a day,
Yeah.
who would it be, and what kind of a role you would like to swap?
Difficult question. I won't say, well, one of the big five, of course, like Hermès, Chanel, Dior, one of these.
Right.
And I will try something special. I will try to develop not the selling of goods, of objects, but kind of leasing of objects, because I believe that experience is getting more important than possessing, and that's maybe the next subject for the luxury brands. And so I'm sure that we can experiment the fact that you don't buy a Hermès bag, for example, but you can do the same with a car, Porsche car.
True.
But you buy a service, and wherever you go, whenever you want, you can have the last Porsche or the last Hermès bag bringing to you by a special agent
Right.
with a new color, with a new model, and for the rest of your life, you can use Porsche or Hermès bags wherever you want.
Oh.
That's just an example, but I would love to try that.
So you said you love reading books, right? Can you share a book which influenced, significantly in your leadership style?
I would say the Prince of Machiavel, because that's very inspiring for managing, and most of the people think it's most of the people don't really know that book, and it's full of very brilliant visions of the meaning of managing and directing. And I've been very much impressed in my youth, because I'm trained as a philosopher, and I used to be a teacher in philosophy. So I was very impressed by all the Stoics philosophers. So I would say, I don't know, maybe Seneca.
So probably next time we'll have more of philosophical, a conversation, which will help the youth to understand how the life, is all about. And just thinking about from one perspective, they would have a different perspective of life.
Yeah.
So we can have one more podcast on that, Julien, very soon. So Julien, how do you foresee the industry, the luxury industry, for the next 5 years? And where do you see the student gonna be in their career per se, right? Which is a very serious question, which comes into parents' mind too.
Yeah, it's always difficult to foresee in the future, of course, but I will try something, because when we observe really what happens today in the luxury market, and when we look also at all the other things I've mentioned that are not inside the luxury market but around, geostrategy, the issues related to global warming, etc., etc. We can see that, first of all, as I said, the key thing about luxury, the luxury goods, is experience. So I think that this aspect of the market will be more important in the coming years. First thing. Secondly, I think the market will be still growing in the 5 or 10 years ahead, but probably in a different way. First, I'm not sure that the number of goods will increase, new goods will increase, but I think that the brands and the companies will find new ways to develop experiential approach to luxury. It's a bit complicated to understand, but just one fact. Louis Vuitton, LVMH in Paris bought a huge building in the Champs-Élysées. And first of all, it was meant to be a new store. And suddenly he decided to open a new hotel. So gives you an idea of what will move. less good, more experience, and in a growing market. So, and the last thing is that I think the geography also of luxury will change. Some things are happening in the US. We'll see where it goes. China has been a little bit more slow on luxury goods for the last 2 years. I think it will recover, but all the companies also are looking on what happened in India, because whether it is the global Western brands that comes to India or the Indian brands and Indian traditions and Indian savoir-faire that's developed,
Right.
we all believe that something will happen here in terms of growth, which is already the case. But in the coming year, I think there is a lot of things to do between Europe and India.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you for
at INSD Luxe Mumbai. And believe me, this was an amazing experience. And through your podcast, through this particular, discussion, kind of thought we shared with each other, is going to help lots of students, out there who will understand what has been needed, what has been required to be a successful student. Not only a student, but also a human being. So thank you so much. It was great having you here at INSD Luxe Mumbai.